The Old Uncle Bastard Show will begin in 1 minute. The Old Uncle Bastard Show will begin in 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. The Old Uncle Bastard Show is meant for an adult audience because the language can get pretty rough sometimes. Listener discretion is advised.
Uncle Bastard, here comes Uncle Bastard. Uncle Bastard, here he comes again. He's as cocky as can be, shakes his fist at cocky. Always yells, and he's out. Always mad, we're just glad we don't live with Uncle Bastard. Crazy Uncle Bastard. Uncle Bastard, time now for his show. He's an evil crazy nut, and he never wipes his butt. Crazy nut, wipes his butt. Always yells, and he's out. Always mad, we're just glad we don't live with what the hell? All right, you little crumb snatchers, beat it before I sick the dogs on you. It's time for the Old Uncle Bastard Show.
Oh, happy day, Calais. It's time once again for a visit from our favorite radio uncle. It's the Old Uncle Bastard Show, starring Bill Schmalfeld. He's the liberal grouch that you've come to love on Twitter, and now he's on internet radio. Can you feel the joy? Today's presentation, as always, is brought to you by Audible.com. Sign up for your 30-day free trial and a free audiobook download by logging on to audibletrial.com/olduncle-bastard. We're also brought to you by Stitcher Radio on Demand. Download the free app today and listen to Old Uncle Bastard and tens of thousands of other radio shows, and you don't even need a Wi-Fi or cell connection. Isn't that splendid? I'll say it is. And now, let's all greet the man, alcoholic former journalist Robert Stacey McCain called a deranged sadistic sociopath, your uncle and mine, Bill Schmalfeld.
See, you can't be a socialist and an anarchist, because a socialist is a person who believes in government controlling the means of production, and anarchists believe there should be no government. So you cannot be, logically, a socialist and an anarchist. I hope that answers that question on Twitter. Hi, I'm Bill Schmalfeld, the liberal grouch, your old Uncle Bastard, and you have ways to communicate with me during the show. You can send me a tweet at liberal grouch, or you, if you're listening live to the show, you see that little word balloon on the whatchamacallit there. Go ahead and click that, and that'll send me a chat message, and we can chat back and forth, and that'll just be all kinds of fun. Wait a minute. Oh, I hate it when this happens. I had a show all laid out, and then all of a sudden I get breaking news. At any rate, this will go down as headline of the year. I'm reading this just as it's been handed to me from the website Liberty.com. Russians warn that Obama death squads are fanning out across America, unconfirmed. That's what it says right there in the headline. Russians warns. Well, there's a problem with that right there. It should be Russian warns or Russians warn, not both. But that's what they got. Russians warns that Obama death squads are fanning out across America, unconfirmed. We have not confirmed this article, as we have not found the original source, and we do not have a Russian translator. We're asking for anyone that can help us research this article for us. Please send your emails to support@liberty.com. In other words, if you can translate Russian, golly, they'd sure appreciate it if you drop them a line at support@liberty.com and help them translate what they believe is a grim Federal Security Forces urgent action memorandum, which was prepared for President Putin, warning that the United States President Barack Obama has ordered at least 800 highly trained death squads to disperse throughout the country in preparation for what Russian intelligence analysts, analysts are predicting to be a series of high-profile killings of dissident Americans set to begin as soon as February 22nd. That's 17 days from now, Patriots. According to this memo, which is still unconfirmed and needs to be translated, Obama was emboldened to implement this murderous plan against his own citizens after this past week's U.S. federal court ruling granted his regime the right to kill, without trial or charges, any American he so chooses, and to keep the reasons for doing so secret. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Obama's coming to kill us. How come the Russians know about this first? How in the world could the Russians have this information before we do? Oh God, oh God. And even such people as Oliver Stone believe this is true. I think that this is Oliver Stone talking. I think that under the disguise of sheep's clothing, he's been a wolf. That because of the nightmare of the Bush presidency that preceded him, people forgave him a lot. He was a great hope for change. The color of his skin, the upbringing, the internationalism, the globalism, it all seemed all evident. And he's an intelligent man, but he's taken all the Bush changes. He basically put them into the establishment. He has codified them. Oh God, oh Christ, oh Christ, oh God. The Russians have it. We just now broke the news that starting on February 22nd, President Obama is going to send out 800 TSA. That's right, TSA, the same people who pat your fanny at the airport. The TSA Viper Team death squads. I am not making this up, people. This is on the internet, so it has to be true. Liberty.com. And to how these TSA Viper Team death squads will dominate, intimidate, and control dissident Americans? Well, the Russians, they know. The memo says this was made even more chillingly clear this past week when the DHS ordered another 200,000 rounds of hollow point ammunition on top of the 1.6 billion rounds of this internationally banned ammunition. Wait a minute, what? Hollow point bullets are internationally banned? How come we can get them? Anyway, these nearly 2 billion rounds of ammunition stand in sharp contrast to U.S. military forces who use only 70 million rounds of ammunition per year in Iraq and Afghanistan. Oh God, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh God. Most ominous, perhaps, in this memo, is it stating that the exact plan for the Obama regime's disarming of its citizens appeared to have been predicted by famous, martyred American dissident William Cooper, who in his 1991 book, Behold a Pale Horse, wrote, "The government encouraged the manufacture and importation of firearms for the criminals to use. This is intended to foster a feeling of insecurity, which would lead the American people to voluntarily disarm themselves by passing laws against firearms. Using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Orion, the CIA inculcated the desire in these people to open fire on schoolyards and thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. This plan is well underway and so far is working perfectly. The middle class is begging the government to do away with the Second Amendment. Oh God, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh God." Bill Clinton, remember him? He once called Cooper the most dangerous man in America. Well, he's not anymore. He was gunned down by U.S. authorities shortly after the 9/11 attacks. He made a radio broadcast on June 28th and predicted that an attack on America and stated that Osama bin Laden would be named the primary scapegoat. You see, it's the government. With the tragic events of the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre still fresh in the American people's minds, combined with Obama's new unlimited power to kill and detain American citizens, this memo concludes that the conditions for the wholesale rebellion in the United States is just a one spark away from becoming a reality, in which these heavily armed TSA, the same people who pat your fanny at the airport, Viper Team death squads, are sure to provide. Oh God, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh God. Well, I'm scared plenty, I tell you. Now on to the show I originally had planned. This name probably doesn't mean anything to you. Reg Presley. Does that ring a bell? His raunchy, suggestive voice powers in the song Wild Thing, a paean to teenage lust. He passed away yesterday after a year-long battle with lung cancer that had finally forced him and his band into retirement. His agent, Keith Altum, announced this on Facebook late Monday night. "My dear old pal, Reg Presley of the Trogs, died today," he said, calling Presley one very real person in a sometimes very unreal world. He said the singer had suffered a number of strokes recently and died in his home near London, surrounded by family and friends. He was 71 years old. It would be anything but fair to call the Trogs a one-hit wonder. Wild Thing, which did hit number 257 on the Rolling Stones magazine list of 500 greatest songs of all time. Their romantic ballad, you might not remember that this was done by the Trogs, Love Is All Around. That ring a bell? I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. That song, right? That made it all the way to number 7 on the U.S. charts in 1967. And With a Girl Like You got as far as 29 in 1966. And they performed as a band up to about a year ago when Presley was diagnosed with his cancer. But I bring this up not so much as to point out the death of someone who, even though you might not know his name, you most certainly know his number one hit song, Wild Thing. I was 11 years old in 1966 when that song topped the charts. And today, as I hear, he passed away yesterday at age 71. The guy who sang Wild Thing.